Got a new old saying for you. Never judge a book by its publicist. Latest supplemental for the illegal war and occupation. No one's ever been able to occupy Afghanistan, and there never really was a war in Iraq. The latest high dollar mislabeled as a supplemental giveaway of our grandchildren's money to the war profiteers also included a get out of jail free card for the criminal corporate co-conspirators enabling the crooks in the White House to listen to and read every message that we send electronically. And since the dictator wannabe has already given himself permission to open our mail, the only messages he isn't getting are those little sculptures of him that I create right before I flush. The cravenly, cowardly congressional critters even threw in a dollop of sop for the troops. That is, if they managed to survive after serving 3 years in the poison-filled fields, they, but more likely their children, you know, that 4,000 dead and 30,000 or so wounded that they keep talking about, that's the tip of the iceberg. Already there's over 5,000 that have committed suicide since they've come back, and who knows how many are denied disability just because the paperwork is so damn complicated. You remember that first Gulf War, where deaths from friendly fire killed more than the enemy did? You haven't forgotten that, have you? And most of the wounds happened in vehicle accidents. Come on, people, this is important. They went on and on about how few casualties there were in that war. Well, 16 years later, the casualty count, the amount of wounded, the number of veterans drawing 100% disability is over 350,000. 350,000 people suffering, wounded in some way that could be directly blamed on those few months when Daddy was drooling in the White House. And this doesn't count those poor souls who couldn't prove to the VA the validity of their claims. We'll never know how many suicides stemmed from that particular war. Sorry for the sidetrack, but I really do want you to understand why, after a veteran has served 3 years, more than likely go to their children who will get 4 years of education at a state college. In the meantime, every year the VA will have to beg for every penny they get. The stay-at-home spouse will have to sign up for food stamps. But the corporate pirates, the political staffers whose next employers will be those same demonic war profiteers, and the blood-soaked, it's not just their hands that are bloody. They're in it up to their eyeballs in stock portfolios. Well, they'll be making out like bandits. And that little bit of excrement that has illegally occupied the White House these past 7 or so years, staining everything he's ever touched. He'll mumble something about irresponsible spending directed at some small portion that benefits the common person, like the extension of the unemployment benefits. Ah, yeah, they toss that in. So when they speechify while stealing their next election, they can claim they are only there to look out for the interest of us. Fools who will allow them to serve year after year after year, blindly believing their empty campaign promises. Or rise up in protest right before the next election, expecting a miracle, and then retreating to our TVs in the malls when, once again, nothing changes. And nothing ever will, as long as the majority don't pay attention, as long as most of us keep buying their crap, as long as what's on TV or who's winning what is important, as long as what you wear and how cheap you can buy something determines the way you spend your life. The only thing that will change is how quickly this country, this experiment of a people governing themselves, will dissolve into unremembered history. Even our Supreme Court has 4 members who believe that Congress can pass laws that can override the Constitution. When your high school, 7th grade government teaches that it takes an amendment to override what's written in the Constitution, which is a fine example of good old Gore Vidal's definition of us as the United States of Amnesia. Now, into the circle file.